There's zero probability of India slipping into stagflation or a recession, said the Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman while replying to Lok Sabha members during a debate on price rise. She said, she also added that India's economy is doing better than most countries in the world according to international assessments, and said that she credited this government for not letting inflation cross 7%. Even as she spoke, Congress MPs walked out.
There is no question of India getting into recession or stagflation. Adirji, you please be assured there is no question of us getting into either a stagflation or, like the US, they may say technical recession, whatever. A Bloomberg survey which was done by economists has said that zero probability of India slipping into recession. So it's not just me saying. There is zero probability of India slipping into recession. Even though there are several major economies who are in substantial risky positions of getting into recession.
And as the Lok Sabha took up the discussion on a price rise after the suspension of 4 Congress MPs earlier in the day, a number of opposition leaders like the Congress's Manish Tiwari, the TMC's Kakoli Ghosh and the DMK's Kanimuri hit out at the government over fuel and food inflation and GST implementation.
और इसके ऊपर आपने जो रोजमर्रा की चीजें हैं उसके ऊपर जीएसटी बढ़ा दिया, आटे के ऊपर, पनीर के ऊपर, दही के ऊपर, शाही के ऊपर, पेंसिल के ऊपर, शार्पनर के ऊपर आपने तो बच्चों को भी नहीं छोड़ा। किस तरह का मुल्क बना रहे हैं हम? क्या लोगों को बिल्कुल हम जमीन पे लेटा देना चाहते हैं?
So this debate on price rise finally took place, with normalcy returning to the Lok Sabha after weeks of pandemonium, with the opposition targeting the government over the issue. Today, the Speaker Om Birla withdrew the suspension of 4 Congress MPs a week after suspending them from the House for unruly behaviour. The Lok Sabha Speaker revoked the suspension after seeking an assurance from the opposition that they would not bring placards into the House anymore. This following continued disruptions that forced 2 adjournments. The Lok Sabha started debating price rise this afternoon after that suspension was revoked. And the Rajya Sabha too saw disruptions as Shiv Sena MPs protested against the arrest of the Rajya Sabha member and the senior party leader Sanjay Raut in that alleged land scam case. Arrested last night, Sanjay Raut was sent to 4-day custody of the Enforcement Directorate in this alleged land scam case. The Shiv Sena MP claims that he's being framed as part of a political vendetta. In court today, though, the agency pointed out that he was summoned thrice for questioning, but he appeared only once, and they claim that during this time he tried tampering with key witnesses.
जिस प्रकार से झूठी कार्रवाई, झूठे कागज, झूठे एविडेंस लोगों को मार मार कर पीट पीट कर बनाए जा रहे हैं, ये सिर्फ महाराष्ट्र को कमजोर करने के लिए। संजय राउत झुकेगा नहीं, न पार्टी छोड़ेगा नहीं।
4 days of Enforcement Directorate's custody for Sanjay Raut, the Shiv Sena Rajya Sabha MP and a close confidant of Uddhav Thackeray, the recently ousted Chief Minister of Maharashtra. After his midnight arrest today, Thackeray visited his home, declared his support clear and attacked the BJP-led centre.
संजय राउत पर अभिमान है और बाला साहब का असली सैनिक सिर्फ वो पिक्चर देखने के लिए ठीक है, पुष्पा झुकेगा नहीं, लेकिन ये झुका नहीं। जो झुकने वाले थे वो हमाम में चले गए और झुकने वाला कभी शिवसैनिक नहीं हो सकता।
मला असं वाटतं की कुठली एजन्सी कारवाई करताना त्यांच्याकडे जे काही पुरावे असतात त्याच्या आधारावर कारवाई करते। एजन्सीने कारवाई केली आहे, आता याच्यात कोर्टात जे काही आहे ते कोर्ट ठरवेल, त्यामुळे याच्यावर मला यापेक्षा जास्त बोलायचं नाही।
The ED has accused Raut of being guilty of financial corruption in a slum redevelopment project called the Patra Chaul Redevelopment, involving his wife and alleged associates. ED claims that Sanjay Raut and family were beneficiaries of the 1.06 crore from the scam. Raut rebuts that this is nothing but a pack of lies.
In the court today, ED had asked for 8 days of custody, but the judge did not agree and instead he granted 4 days of custody to the Enforcement Directorate. Sanjay Raut has also been allowed homemade food and medicines in the ED custody.
विश्वास है कि न्याय व्यवस्था परफेक्ट न्याय हमें देगी और संजय राउत को जल्दी ही बाहर आ जाएंगे.
Many in the Congress and other parties opposed to the BJP have supported Raut.
किस लिए? 11 लाख रुपए के लिए. कमाल है. इन लोग करोड़ों रुपए लगा रहे हैं मेंबर्स को खरीदने में.
The state government deployed hundreds of police personnel at the Mumbai ED office, the hospital where Raut was taken for a checkup, and at the court. With Sohit Mishra, Usama Shah for NDTV.
Moving on, has the arrest of 3 Jharkhand Congress MLAs with a pile of cash in Bengal unearthed a BJP conspiracy to topple the JMM Congress coalition government in Jharkhand? Well, a Jharkhand Congress MLA has filed a complaint with the Ranchi police alleging that the Assam Chief Minister, the BJP's troubleshooter in eastern India, is leading this conspiracy. The MLA has alleged that the BJP was trying to topple the JMM-led government in Jharkhand by offering 10 crore rupees to each Congress MLA. The Assam Chief Minister has rubbished these allegations.
Political rumblings in Jharkhand after horse trading allegations against Assam Chief Minister Himanta Biswa Sarma, the BJP's chief troubleshooter in eastern India. Jharkhand Congress MLA Kumar Jaimangal claims Sarma is behind a plan to topple the JMM Congress government in Jharkhand. The sensational claim, denied by the BJP, came hours after the arrest of 3 other Jharkhand Congress MLAs in Bengal by the state police. They were allegedly carrying a pile of unaccounted cash, 50 lakh rupees. In his complaint to the Ranchi police, MLA Jaimangal claims the arrested Congress MLAs were in touch with him and were promising 10 crore rupees per MLA and ministerial berths. 2 of the arrested MLAs allegedly offered Mr. Jaimangal a meeting with the Assam CM, claiming Mr. Sarma was leading an operation to topple the Jharkhand government with the blessings of the BJP's top Delhi leadership.
कि क्रॉस वोटिंग की बात हुई है तो हम लोगों ने क्रॉस वोटिंग में लगातार कहने का काम किया कि हम लोग जांच कर रहे हैं, हम लोग बात कर रहे हैं, हम लोग देख रहे हैं, सभी विधायकों से पूछताछ कर रहे हैं और जो सामने घटित हुआ है तो अब ये प्रमाणित हुआ है कि हाँ, एक प्रयास चल रहा था भारतीय जनता पार्टी के द्वारा और भारतीय जनता पार्टी इस तरह के कुत्सित प्रयास लगातार करती रहती है.
This tweet by the Assam Congress chief called Mr. Sarma the new godfather of horse trading and cross voting. Asked about the allegations, Mr. Sarma did not categorically deny meeting Congress MLAs or leaders, though he denied any active role in bringing down the government.
सारे कांग्रेस का एमएलए लोग हम लोग को मिलते रहता है, एमएलए नहीं, वो कांग्रेस का बड़ा लीडर जब भी गुवाहाटी आते हैं मुझको मिलता है, मैं दिल्ली आने से सब मुझको मिलते हैं. वो तो मिलने में क्या कसूर है, वो तो मेरा पुराना पार्टी था, लोग तो मिलते रहता है.
विधायक किसके, कांग्रेस के पैसे कहां पर पकड़े गए बंगाल में, तो आरोप भारतीय जनता पार्टी पर क्यों? और इसलिए आरोप लगा रहे हैं कि हेमंत सोरेन की सरकार और कांग्रेस की सरकार भ्रष्टाचार में लुप्त है.
The Congress and the JMM together have 48 of Jharkhand's 81 MLAs. The BJP has 25. But things have been shaky for the coalition in recent times, especially during the recent presidential elections, where the JMM officially supported the NDA nominee, President Draupadi Murmu, and multiple Congress MLAs also reportedly voted for her. With Harivansh Sharma, Sanjay Chakravarti and GD Shankar, this is Alok Pandey, NDTV.
And the big international story, tensions between the United States and China are at a high after media reports that the US House Speaker Nancy Pelosi may visit Taiwan in the next 24 hours. China has warned that it will take a military action if Pelosi goes ahead with her visit, which China says is interference in the affairs of Taiwan, which it sees as part of China. The Chinese Foreign Ministry spokesperson has said that China will definitely take resolute and strong countermeasures to defend its own sovereignty and territorial integrity. What the US should do is to abide by the One China principle and the 3 Sino-US joint communiques and fulfill President Joe Biden's promise US not to support Taiwanese independence and not allow it. That's not all. Meanwhile, the US Navy has also moved the USS Ronald Reagan carrier strike group into the region should it be required to provide support for the visit. The US House Speaker, who's been in Singapore, is also expected to visit Malaysia, South Korea and Japan. What does all of this mean? For more on this, let's go across to Nidhi Raza. Nidhi, as the US and China are in this eyeball-to-eyeball confrontation, do we know what the US President Joe Biden's opinion is about this House Speaker's plan and visit?
Well, officially, the visit of Nancy Pelosi to Taiwan is not on her schedule even now. It wasn't there when she embarked on this Asian tour. And this has come out from US and Taiwanese media reports. CNN actually has reported, quoting both Taiwanese and US officials as saying that she could be in Taiwan as early as Tuesday. Now, what the CNN report also goes on to say is that, in terms of the US government itself, Nancy Pelosi is not part of the Biden administration. She's the US House Speaker. However, she's been very vocal on China in the past as well. She's also number 3 in the hierarchy in the United States, which is why China is so angry with the possibility of her visit. In fact, the Chinese government has said that its military will not sit by idly if she does go ahead with this visit to Taiwan. So, they've thrown open that entirely, possible a scenario of a confrontation, a military confrontation over her visit to Taiwan. And, again, the US officials are also at pains to point out that while this has nothing to do with the Biden administration, at the same time, the Biden administration at the moment hasn't officially said anything on this. So we'll have to see how this pans out. The timing is also important because President Xi is seeking a 3rd term in office as president of China. And at the moment, he wouldn't want to be seen to be showing any kind of weakness as far as Chinese foreign policy is concerned. So it coincides with this domestic political development in China. And the Chinese have already done these military exercises near Taiwan over the weekend. They've also released a video that we're showing on air of their military exercises in Tibet. So all of this is not a coincidence. These are messages that are being sent out to the rest of the world that militarily that they are strong and that they're ready for anything.
All right, thanks Nidhi for that, for putting it in context. Meanwhile, the big international story, the 5G spectrum auctions, the biggest airwave auctions in India ended, and a record of over 1.5 lakh crore worth of spectrum has been sold as per reports, and the Telecom Ministry has said that the expected rollout of the spectrum will be in October this year.
बहुत जल्दी, जैसा आपने देखा कैबिनेट के अप्रूवल के बाद में एक दिन भी वेस्ट किए बिना एंटायर टीम ने दिन रात काम करके स्पेक्ट्रम का ऑक्शन सक्सेसफुली किया। वैसे ही हम लोग 10 अगस्त से पहले एंटायर एलोकेशन का प्रोसेस कंप्लीट कर लेंगे और कोशिश करेंगे अक्टूबर तक सारे लोग अपने अपने इक्विपमेंट्स लगा लें जितने लगा सकते हैं, और अक्टूबर में सितंबर अक्टूबर टाइम फ्रेम में, या समझो अक्टूबर में वी शुड बी एबल टू लॉन्च 5G in the country.
And for more on this, Mariam now joins us here in the studio. Thanks, Mariam. So, any big surprises today, and who was the biggest bidder? Any surprises on that front specifically?
Not really surprises, but Sarah, but some very big numbers at the auctions today. As you just mentioned, the 5G spectrum auctions concluded today, and it saw a record being set. Over 1.5 lakh crore worth of spectrum has been sold today, and Reliance Jio was in fact the biggest bidder, followed by Bharti Airtel and Vodafone India. Spectrum worth over 1.5 lakh crore was sold. This was almost double the 4G airwave sale that was valued at around 78,000 crore earlier. Now, more than that, what a lot of people are looking forward to are those 5G speeds. When will we be able to access 5G speeds in India? And the answer to that is quite soon. As we just heard the minister say, the telecom minister say, that the 5G rollout is expected in India as early as October this year. That's within a couple of months. And in fact, each of those big telecom players have put out a statement reassuring people. Reliance Jio has said that they are ready for 5G rollout in the shortest period of time. Bharti Airtel has said that they plan to launch the 5G services in every part of the country, starting with key cities. Vodafone India said that they participated in the auction to embark on our 5G rollout in the country in line with our long-term mission. Earlier, the target for the 5G rollout was next year, that is 2023. But with the minister and these telecom giants reassuring people that we may be able to access 5G speeds very soon.
All right, thanks. We'll all, of course, be looking forward to that. But let's go across to some grim and tragic news that came in today. A major fire at the New Life Multi-Speciality Hospital in Jabalpur city of Madhya Pradesh. 8 people have died. Others are still feared trapped inside this building, even though the fire is under control. But 3 staff and 5 patients have perished. And the Kerala government today confirmed that the youth who died in Thrissur on Saturday had succumbed to the West African variant of the monkeypox. The confirmation came from the National Institute of Virology in Pune, where his samples were tested after an initial confirmation at the institute's regional unit in Kerala. This will be India's first confirmed monkeypox death and likely the 4th death outside of Africa.
Emergency meeting of health officials after the Kerala government ordered a probe into whether a 22-year-old who died in Kerala's Thrissur district on Saturday had died of monkeypox. This after the family revealed after his death that he had tested positive for monkeypox in the UAE.
The preliminary report says that it's West African strain, and from UAE it's a A2 variant. UK it's B1 variant, so usually it's the study shows that. And from UAE, the 3 cases earlier identified, it's because it was because of A2 variant. So anyway, this is West African strain. The genomic sequencing is being done now.
The 22-year-old came to India on July 22nd. It was on July 27th that he came to the hospital with symptoms of extreme fatigue and meningitis and not monkeypox symptoms. What the authorities are telling us is that he did not have the symptoms either when he landed at the airport or when he came to the hospital. The NIV has now been sent the samples of this person and contact list of everyone who came in contact with him, from the co-passengers to the cab driver, relatives and friends. They have all been put under quarantine. 3 positive cases of monkeypox have been reported from Kerala, 5 in all from India. The Kerala government has said none of the contacts of those put under quarantine have tested positive. Even world over, the fatality rate is low for monkeypox, but the WHO has declared it a global health emergency. With SP Babu in Thiruvananthapuram, Uma Sudhir, NDTV.